Hello, and thank you for watching this video. My name is Aaron Eberly, and I'm the Lexis representative for Harvard Law School. After this video, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My info is here on the law school homepage. You can either email me at aaron.eberly@lexis.com or give me a call, shoot me a text, however you need to get a hold of me. You can also reach out to the student representatives listed here. They're on campus every day and are a huge help as well. Okay, so this video is going to focus on the football star at Troy Prep. And we're going to run some searches to hopefully ensure that you guys are able to find the best case law for your appellate briefs. We're going to go ahead and get started by entering Lexis Advance. And with any search or any research that you do, either in law school or in practice, it's always best to start with secondary sources. Things like treatises, jurisprudence materials. These are fantastic sources that just kind of lay out the law for you very plainly and clearly, but also link you to the cases, the statutes, the primary sources that you're interested in finding as well. So that's what we're going to do in terms of step one, is we're going to build a search and then look into secondary sources. So again, for our example today, we're looking at a student becoming an agent of the school, the issue of respondeat superior. So we're going to go ahead and start with a pretty general search. When does a student become an agent for a school? Okay, and before we actually hit the search button, you do have the option here within the search feature to filter your results. So a lot of times you may only care about either a certain jurisdiction or you only want to search certain portions of Lexis, so just case law or just secondary materials. So to do that, it's very, very simple. You just click on the filters box here. You'll see your options. Here we'll start with just Illinois. I believe your problem says that you should look to Illinois and outside jurisdictions to kind of make some comparisons, but for now we can just choose Illinois under states, and then under category we'll choose cases and secondary materials, since that's all we're going to look at today in this short video. So once you have your selections, you'll see them here at the top. So again, secondary, cases, and Illinois. You can hit the X and now see that we have those filters applied. Alternatively, you can actually search with no filters. It'll just search everything on Lexis, and you do have the ability to post filter or post search filter using the same kind of method. So it's more of a preference what you like to do, either before you run the search or after. So here we have our search. I'll hit the search button and kind of go into the results. Okay, like I mentioned, again, first step in any research assignment, whether it's again here in law school or practice, is starting with those secondary materials, things like treatises, practice guides, etc. So one thing you can do, you see here that we're already narrowed by Illinois, so that's great. But under category, you'll also see more specifically the types of sources. So we have quite a few law review articles, which are great, but for our purposes, we're probably going to focus more on the other sources, like either jurisprudence materials or treatises. And for our specific example, I'm going to go ahead and click on treatises. The other post-search filter that's extremely helpful a lot of times is the search within results. You'll see here, we started with a pretty broad search in terms of what we typed in. You have the ability to add additional terms as well. So, 30 results isn't a lot. You can probably look through those pretty quickly, but sometimes you may get, 300 results or, 5,000 results depending on what you search. So here just allows you to get a little bit more specific. So for example, I didn't type respondeat superior yet. So if I wanted to add that into my search, and then click on the search or apply filter here, that will then find me results that specifically mention respondeat superior as well. So again, kind of looking through the results will be really helpful in terms of finding the sources that look best for you. So for our example, or for our research today, let's go ahead and click on number 4 on the list here. It's an Illinois Torts Law Treatise, section 1703. Okay, so once you do pull those up, again, the great part about it is this one's talking about, vicarious liability, employment relationship basics. So it's really kind of laying out the circumstances in Illinois where respondeat superior applies. So again, employer-employee relationship, and then all of these sections or these paragraphs you'll see have footnotes. If you click on the footnote, it's going to take you to case law that specifically discusses this issue. So in terms of your case law research, this is usually going to give you a great jump start. And a lot of times they'll explain what happened in that case, so you can then kind of determine, again, this one's dealing with a sheriff, so you can determine whether you want to actually click on it or not. So again, first step, this is always a great way to go. Once you do enter, just one last tip in secondary materials, when you're looking at a treatise section or in a jurisprudence, over here on the left, you'll see a little pop-out for table of contents. This is just helpful a lot of times, kind of shows you where you are in the actual treatise. So sometimes we're here in 1703, you may want to go back or look at some of the other sections around it, which could be on point as well. So here, looking at it, these two don't seem like they're going to be on point. So now we know, okay, I'm not missing anything or forgetting to look at a section of this treatise. So it's always good to kind of take a look there, and then you can always close that back up if you are done. Okay, so now what we have read this, obviously we're not going to read it today, but you would obviously read it, kind of get that knowledge. The second step, or the second place you'll want to go for your research is then to case law. So we can hit the back button, get back to our results, and then come up here to our cases tab. So again, generally from the secondary materials, you will find some cases, but really you guys are going to be looking for that exact case that matches your facts and your circumstances, and that hopefully will win you the case. So generally, you're always going to need to at least go through the applicable cases in the results list. Okay, so real quickly, we're already narrowed by Illinois because we had that pre-search filter. If, for example, though, like we're asked to do, you want to find other cases from other jurisdictions that are related as well, you don't have to mess with the filters up here or rerun a search. Just click on the X to get out of Illinois, and then that will get you to all the case law related to your search. So very easy to kind of go back and forth between filters and no filters. But here, let me just click on Illinois again, just to kind of get back to our that search. Also, once you do choose a jurisdiction, obviously all of these will be related. You can see now the court within Illinois. You'll see that First District Court of Appeals. So for example, I think our example was from the 5th District. If you wanted to find the 5th District cases, they're very easy to see as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and click into this Knapp v. Hill case. We'll open that up real quick. And once you do enter a case, again, you guys will probably go through a lot of case law. So you'll find that you're kind of clicking on a lot of cases. Use the case summaries. These are little mini briefs of each case. They're a really helpful way to kind of figure out if this case is going to be helpful or not. You can kind of get an idea just from this overview whether this case has any bearing on excuse me, which side of the argument you may be looking at. So this looks really helpful, or looks pretty on point with what we're looking for. Right below that, the second tip to utilize is the Lexis headnotes. These are going to be more specifically the issues that the court discusses in its opinion. So these are kind of pulled out as important by our Lexis editors. So as you kind of see the different rule statements in the actual language, and then the headnote topics are above. So this one paragraph is related to all of these different types of legal topics. So some headnotes will have 2 topics, some will have, like this one, be kind of scattered around or applicable to many circumstances. So as you go through the list of headnotes, obviously looking for some or one that looks more on point with what your research is, and then you can kind of use that head note. So for our example, let's actually go ahead and use head note 2. So when you do find actually scratch that, we're going to use head note 1. So when you do find a head note that's helpful or looks like something you want to explore a little more, you can click on the little arrow next to the head note. That's going to pop you down to the opinion where that's actually stated. So that's a really quick way to kind of see it in context, how the court actually applied it, and what the circumstances around that statement were. One other quick tip: if you are citing material from a case, you can highlight it with your mouse and then use the copy feature here that pops up to find the citation format that you're looking for. So in this drop down, you'll see many different citation formats. So we have standard, which is the 19th edition Blue Book, as well as a lot of different state rules. So standard is probably the most popular. You can choose that. Again, it's the 19th edition Blue Book. Hit select, and that will then show you the proper format for your citation. So you'll see that here, and then you'll also be given the pinpoint page number where that language you highlighted came from. So at this point, you can then copy and paste it into your work product and then kind of move on with your research. So that's just another quick little tip. Okay, so let's pop back up to the head note, the head note sections. So now that you've found a good case, let's say you read this, you're going to use it in your work product. There's now 3 tips to find additional case law that I want to discuss quickly. And the first one, or the first tip or tool that you can use, is actually in the head notes themselves. So when you do find a good head note, up here in the topics, you'll see these little drop downs or these little arrows that you can click on. If this is a head note that's related to what you're researching, so let's just say, for example, this one is, let's say it's talking about agents and agency relationships. You can click on the little drop down, hit Get Documents, and that will actually give you a list of every single case on Lexis with a similar head note. So now we have a full list of every case that has this exact that exact head note in the case somewhere. So that's a really great way to obviously see everything that's out there if you're looking for other jurisdictional case law. Or you can then start to type in search within results options, so facts and circumstances, or you can narrow it again to your jurisdiction or your specific circumstances. So that's the first tool, which is very easy to do. So I'm going to hit the back button, get back to our NAP case. So the second tool is over here on the right-hand side of the document. It's called Legal Issue Trail. And this is actually a really fantastic tool to quickly find, hopefully, supporting case law. What it does is you click on Activate Passages, and you'll see now throughout the opinion these little boxes appear around certain paragraphs or certain sentences. And as you research or you read through the case and you find something that's stating a rule or something helpful to you, all you have to do is click on the box. So here I just clicked on just any random box. And what you'll see is a kind of a report giving you 2 things. So first, you'll see at the top we have 18 citations. The first section is going to be background authority. So these are going to be cases that NAP used in their opinion to state that claim or kind of state that rule. So obviously this case is going to be important to you as well, so you might want to take a look at it. After that section, you'll see now a list of cases, so subsequent cases that have cited NAP for that exact legal issue. So in this case, it's recognizing existence of facts giving rise to principal agents is generally a question reserved for the trier of fact. So you now have 17 cases here that specifically cite NAP for that trier of fact issue. And what's great is now that if you go through the list, you can click on one and it will take you right to the point in that case where it cites NAP. So you can get an idea of whether that's going to be a good case for you to hopefully find another additional case to support your argument or another example of how they applied the law in the same way that you want to use it. So that's a really quick, easy way to hopefully find some additional case law. So again, that's the legal issue trail up here in the top right-hand side of the case, right below Shepard's, and you just click the activate passages to do that. Okay, so that was tool number 2. Third and final tool that I want to show you today is Shepardizing. So Shepard's, as you probably already know, is a good way to figure out whether your case is good law or not. So that's one of its main functions. So if you saw a red stop sign, that would be a bad sign. That would mean your case has been overruled or reversed. But Shepard's is also great for finding additional case law. So similarly to what we did with the legal issue trail. So we'll stay here in NAP. So you can either click on this symbol here. It's the yellow triangle, which means caution, possible negative treatment. You can either click on that signal, or you can come over here and click on this Shepardized document link. Both will pull up a Shepard's report for you. So clicking on that, if you are looking again at finding additional case law, go here to citing decisions. Those are going to list, or that section is going to list every single case that is cited Knapp v. Hill. So here we have 45 cases. And at this point, it's important to think about why you Shepardized Knapp. If you Shepardized it because you like it, you're going to use it in your work product, then you want to look here at the positive cases. These are going to be specifically 8 cases that have said something good about Knapp as well. So for example, they may say, the rule in Knapp was this, we like that rule, we're going to use the same rule in our analysis. Alternatively, if this you found, and it happens all the time, you may find a case that's not good for you. So it's the opposing side's argument, kind of matches what they said, and it's not a good case. If that happens, it's still good to Shepardize the case because you can then look at the negative analysis. So anything above positive is negative. And these negative cases you want to read to hopefully link to your side of the argument. So if they're more similar to what you're arguing, that actually becomes the distinguishing case, or the negative case becomes a good case for you, which is really cool. So for our example, I'll use this distinguished case. So you can click on distinguished by, and then you'll see that just one distinguished case. And what's cool is, again, when you click on any case from the Shepard's report, it's going to take you right to the point in Caterpillar where they cite Knapp. So there's no guessing or kind of scrolling around to try to find that case. So again, the distinguishing part of it, so in this example, or in most examples, it could be that the facts are a little different. So they may be distinguishing from Knapp because using our football example, they may have had a coach that wasn't a student, and then that's obviously going to be more in line with Respondeat Superior and an agent of the school. Or their facts could have been different in terms of it wasn't a manager, but it was a ball boy. So anything that's different about the case, they could distinguish it and say, we're not going to follow you because these facts are here and you had some different facts, so they're not the same. So it just depends on, again, why you pulled up that case, and then kind of what analysis you want to look to either support your argument or hopefully find a case that more aligns with what you're kind of looking for. Okay, so those were the 3 tools. So again, just to kind of recap, we have starting with the secondary source to kind of get your base knowledge of the law and point out some of the the more prominent cases. Then once you go to case law, you find a good case. Use those tools like the head notes, the legal issue trail, and Shepard's to expand your case law and find additional supported cases. So if you do all those 3 things, a lot of times you may start to see the same cases over and over. That's a good sign. That basically means that your research is complete, and that hopefully you find the very best cases to write a fantastic brief. So again, let's go back here to the home page. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself or the student reps. And you are also going to be rewarded for watching this video So you'll get 400 rewards points, which is equal to a $5 Amazon gift card just for taking a look at the video. The only thing you have to do to make sure you get the points is just send me an email. So again, my email is down here, so aaron.eberly@lexusnexus.com. But send me an email and just in the subject line write frog. You don't have to write anything else. That way I can spot it easily and award you your points. Okay, it's great. Hopefully you guys found this helpful. Again, if any questions, let me know, and good luck writing your brief.